introduce you to inequalities. Now, perhaps you are asking, what are inequalities? Well, remember the definition of equations. We defined equations as a mathematical statement which shows that one side of mathematical expression is equal to the other, right? Now, an inequality or inequalities, these are mathematical expressions, so to say, or mathematical statements which shows that one side of a mathematical expression is not equal to the other. Okay? And that's what we are going to see what that means. Thank you so much. Please follow along. So we have examples here that we need to do. It says plot and or shade the region being represented by each of the following inequalities. Remember, this introduction is very important for you to understand what inequalities are and how to answer any questions that you can be asked under inequalities. So let's get started. We have examples here. That's example 1. We want to shade or to plot the equation x is equal to 3. Now, what does that mean? Well, this statement here, this is a mathematical statement, right? Telling us to say x is equal to 3. That means in the x-axis, we want to find where we can find 3, right? So on our x or y plane, we want to find 3 in the x-axis. Now here we are not told whether we want the numbers which are less than 3 or which are greater than 3, but just the 3 itself. So we want a point where x is equal to 3. Again, understand that this means x is exactly 3. It's not less and it's not greater. So how do we show this one? Perhaps let me change the color. Let's use the green one. So x is equal to 3. We go in the x-axis. We find positive 3x, right? And straight here on 3, we draw this line. Sorry about that. Okay, so it's a straight line that we need to draw. So let's just go back and get that straight line. So we need to just plot a straight line here, and that will be a green straight line, right? Okay, and it's going to pass at exactly 3. Let me just see if we can change the thickness of the line so that it can be leaving some room for us. So this line is passing where x is equal to 3, right? Good. So this is the line where x is equal to 3 and not less and not greater. So x is equal to 3, right? So this is the line in the x-axis. Now we also have this other one where x is equal to negative 3. So this means it's the same line, but this time it is in the x on the negative side of the x-axis. So we are just going to plot again, right? We're just going to plot again. This is a straight line. Now this time at negative 3. Okay, so we just have to pass our line there at negative 3. Good. So that's good. So this is the line x is equal to negative 3. Nice. So that's x is equal to negative 3. So that's the line. We just want a straight line. So usually if you want to plot a straight line, right, which is equal to, you just go straight in that axis. Well, to learn more, so when you look at this example that we've just done, it is all done in the x-axis. Now let's do something in the y-axis. So in the y-axis here, we are told we want to plot this line, okay, which we can call this is an equation, because it is telling us again to say y is equal to 5, which means whichever value is on the other side of the equation, now that value should be equal to y itself, right? Okay, so we want this to plot this line, y is equal to 5. So this means go in the y-axis and find where y is, where there is y in the y-axis. So where y is equal to 5 in the y-axis. So let's do that. So this is the diagram in the y-axis. So this is the y-axis, but where y is equal to 5 is right here. So we just need again to plot that. So this is the y-axis now. So in the y-axis, this is where we can find y is equal to 5. So we just need to write that. That's y is equal to 5. Good. Again, we have the same in the y-axis, but where y is equal to -2. So what does it mean plotting that one? Again, in the y-axis, find where y is equal to -2. Again, not less than -2 and not greater than -2, but exactly on -2. So we just need again to plot our line there, right? And we can name it. That's y is equal to -2. Good. We can proceed now and look at some inequalities now. So what we are just from looking at, these are equations, because they are telling us to say one side of the expression is exactly equal to the other, okay, no less, no greater. So this is an equation. So I started with equations, okay, those are simple equations, right? Showing us also how to draw the line on a straight line. Now I want to look at inequalities, telling us that whichever value of x is or value of y is will not always be equal, okay, to the other side. All right, so let's do that and see how that applies in the first example. So in the first example here, we have x is greater than -2. So unlike equations, this inequality is saying in the x-axis we want the region, right? So we are dealing with a region, it's not a point. Why am I saying it's not a point? In the previous examples, we were looking for exactly where that number is, either in the x-axis or in the y-axis, right? We are not looking for any values in the range where x is something. Okay, now look at this one. Why we're saying this, we need to show the region, because we are told x is greater than -2. In short, we need to show on our x or y plane where we can find all the integers, right, which are greater than -2, but in the x-axis. So let's go in the x-axis. We find -2, right? We find -2. Then we plot a straight line there, right? We plot a straight line like that. Now we need to understand what we have plotted, what means, and the equation, what this inequality means again. Well, remember this inequality is saying x is greater than -2. Of course, we know where do we find numbers greater than -2. Okay, we find numbers greater than -2 as we go toward the positive x-axis, right? That's where we find the numbers greater than -2. Now look at these numbers. If we start exactly from -2, a point -2, or from this line showing exactly -2, it means we are starting from the line greater or equal to -2. Now, according to the statement here, we are told we want numbers greater than -2. So not equal to -2, no, but greater than negative 2. So to show that we are not starting exactly from this line, from 2, we need to write our line in dotted form or broken like this. So this shows that we are not starting exactly from where 2 is, but we are just looking for the numbers above 2. Okay, so numbers above 2, where can we find them on the x or y plane? So here we're saying we can find them in this direction. Okay, as long as we go above negative 2, we are going to find the numbers in the x-axis which are greater than negative 2. So this is what this inequality means. So we are showing the region. So the region where we can find numbers which are greater than negative 2, it's starting from just slightly above negative 2, going toward the positive x-axis. Right, so we can just we can even get this equation so that we can just show the region. So that's the region. I'll just put it here to show the region. Okay, so starting from there, going this side. Again, we have x less or equal to 5. So this time we have positive 5. Again, we go in the x-axis and find where 5 is, right? Now, upon finding that 5, we need to draw a straight line here. What is it there again? All right, sorry, let me just get this line. So we want where x is exactly positive 5. So we have it there, right? We have it there. Okay, so this is where x is less or equal to 5. Now remember, this is the region that we need to show, where x is less or equal to 5. Now the question is this line going to be dotted? No. Why? Because we are starting from exactly 5, positive 5 in the x-axis, where we can find numbers starting from 5 itself and less. So where can we find those numbers? In fact, let me just change the color so that we can see again here. So the region where we can find those numbers, it's from the green line going downward. Here we can find all the numbers less than positive 5 in the x-axis, right? So this region in pink color shows where we can find all the numbers less than positive 5. Okay, so just go in this direction, all the numbers less than or equal to negative 5. So again, this is what this inequality means. So if we are to shade the region being represented by this inequality, is this region right here. Okay, so starting from 5 going downward to the negative side. So now let's apply the same thing here. Now this time we want y less or equal to 1. So we go to y. In the y-axis we find where 1 is, right? Where 1 is. Now we want to find all the numbers. So we want to find all the numbers. Perhaps let me just get this line. All the numbers less than or equal to negative 1. So where can we find numbers which are either less than or equal to 1? So starting again from 1 itself going down. So our number is our shading is starting from exactly 1 in the y-axis, not slightly above or below, but just from positive 1 in the y-axis going down. So we are here showing now the region where we can find numbers which will be less than or equal to negative 1. that's in the y-axis. So this is the region. Now to just emphasize that, let's get this one, okay, and show it just for emphasis sake. Okay, we can put it here. So this is the region, okay, that's the region in pink. Now let's also do the last one. So in the last one, we want to show in the y-axis where we can find numbers y greater than 5. So this time we're not starting from 5 but greater than 5. So in the y-axis we are 5 is right here. So we're going to plot just a straight line here, right? So we get a straight line. When we get a straight line, now we need to shade the region where we can find numbers which will be greater than positive 5. That is in the y-axis, don't forget. So remember, this inequality doesn't have equal to here, right? Which means we're not considering 5, okay? We're excluding 5, but all the numbers above 5. So we can start from 5.009 going up, okay? Okay, all right. So we just need to show that okay. So we're showing that by making our line not thick and then not solid but dotted. Okay, so this is how you plot this line, and then you show the region by shading that region. Okay, so this is the region. So starting from slightly above 5 going upward right there. Okay, so we have that. Okay, and we are done. So this is an introduction showing you the basics of where we get the whole idea of plotting straight lines and shading the regions which are less, which are greater, the wanted and the unwanted region.